Welcome to the movie. We come to the next episode of Game of Thrones, The King's Road. Let's go. Tyrion Lannister wakes up hungover and filthy in the Starks' dog kennel, with his nephew Prince Joffrey standing outside mocking him. Tyrion orders Joffrey to offer his sympathies to their hosts following Bran Stark's fall. The prince laughs at the idea, and Tyrion slaps him hard across the face. Tyrion joins his brother and sister for breakfast. He tells them that he plans to ride to the Wall, and that the Maester says that Bran will live. Cersei looks concerned, but Jaime seems mostly miffed, saying that he'd prefer a good clean death. Lady Catelyn stands vigil over her unconscious son. The Queen visits and tells the story of an infant she lost to a battle with fever. She promises to pray to the mother for Catelyn. Jon Snow is preparing to leave for the Wall when Jaime approaches him at the forge. He shakes Snow's hand and sneers while thanking him for protecting the realm. Jon shakes off the insult and visits Arya in her chambers, where she packs her belongings for the journey to King's Landing. Jon gives her a slender sword, Needle. He hugs his half-sister. Jon visits Bran in his bedchamber to say farewell to the boy, as Catelyn glares at him. Ned walks in just in time to hear her order Jon to leave the room. She tells her husband she can't bear to stay behind while he rides south again, like he did during the war. Jon and Ned leave Winterfell with the king's riders, and soon the time comes for them to part ways. Jon asks his father if his mother is still alive, and Ned tells him, "Next time we see each other, we'll talk about your mother." On the trip north, Jon meets some other Night's Watch recruits and learns that the more typical members of the Brotherhood are rapers and murderers who've chosen the Wall over the gallows. Tyrion asks Jon if he really believes that the Watch protects the realm. Robb and Maester Luwin visit Catelyn, pressing her to attend to some household business. Robb begs his mother to leave. He notices a fire burning outside and rushes off. A moment later, a hooded man appears with a dagger to kill Bran, but it's Bran's wolf Summer who saves them, appearing from nowhere to leap on the assassin. After her wounds are dressed, Catelyn meets with Esser Roderick, Theon, Maester Luwin and Robb in Winterfell's Godswood to discuss the attempt on her life. The expensive dragonbone dagger used in the attack. She and Roderick decide to ride south to King's Landing to warn Ned. Daenerys and her new Dothraki tribe ride east across the plains of Essos, which takes a physical toll she's unaccustomed to. Daenerys is led off by her handmaidens. Once camp is set, Khal Drogo comes to Dany's tent. Later, her handmaidens tend to all the small wounds she's collected while riding and tell her the various legends they've heard of dragons. Doria, a Lysene woman, worked in the pleasure houses there. Dany asks Doria to teach her how to make Drogo happy. Later, when Drogo approaches, Daenerys climbs on top of him. After a few moments they find themselves making a connection. Stopping for a meal, Robert and Ned reminisce over their younger days. Robert tells Ned that he's received word that Daenerys Targaryen. Ned insists she's no threat in Essos, but Robert reminds him that Lyanna and Brandon both died because of the old royal family. Sansa enjoys her journey to the capital, especially one afternoon when Joffrey invites her to take a walk along the Trident River. They come across Arya and Mycah. Joffrey pulls his own sword, rather than a tree branch, and holds it to the boy's cheek. When Joffrey draws blood, Arya smacks him with her stick. The prince comes after her, swinging savagely with his sword as she dodges. Her wolf Nymeria jumps in, biting Joffrey's wrist. Arya throws the prince's dropped sword into the river and runs off into the forest. The Lannisters' men find Arya in the forest that night. Ned is furious that his daughter is being handled by Cersei's family. Cersei says that Joffrey was an innocent victim, and Arya immediately protests. The queen calls Sansa forward, and the girl lies. Almost satisfied, Cersei demands that the wolf be killed. The matter is almost settled when Cersei decides Sansa's wolf, Lady. Ned is shocked at the obvious injustice and looks to Robert to overturn the order, but the king walks out. Outside, Ned crosses paths with the Sandor Clegane, who is returning with Mycah's corpse slung of his horse's back. Disgusted, Ned finds Lady and strokes the animal's coat for a few moments before unsheathing his dagger and ending her life. In Bran's chamber back at Winterfell, the injured boy opens his eyes.